Hey, hello beautiful people. My name is Teresa and I will be your cruise director on the magical mystery tour that is this channel. Today we're doing a full face of Chemist brand makeup, of drugstore if you want to call it, all super savvy products, and we created this look, and let me tell you, it was a journey. I had issues with eyebrow pencils. I think I had to go 3 eyebrow pencils before I found one that wasn't empty or I didn't break, so that was fun. But we ended up with this look here. If you want to see how to create it, stick around. Okay, going in today, first up with the Rimmel Multitasker Better Than Filters Primer. I use the shade 02 Fairlight. And this, if you like these types of products, the difference with this one, and I love this one, this has become a real holy grail, is this has pearlescence in it. I'm just trying to grab, what have I grabbed there? Charlotte Tilbury. So this is more metallic. This has got a real pearlescent glow to it that really sort of reflects the light back. So that's why I really like this particular one. Grabbing a brush and buffing out. If you haven't tried an illuminating type of primer before and you have more mature skin, give it a go, because what I will tell you is that it does something magical underneath your foundation. Like this I'm comfortable just wearing on its own even, but it does something magical under your foundation in that once once your foundation is on top and you've set it down and sprayed it, it just illuminates from within and it reflects light back. So that helps diffuse all of the issues that we have under our eyes, which we want all the help we can get. Going in now with the Maybelline Superstay 24-Hour Skin Tint. I am wearing the shade 05. This, I noticed, I've just shaken it so you won't be able to see. I noticed that is probably 2/3 gone, which really says something for me with a foundation product. I've got so many that I can go for a really long time without getting through anything. And I got this just before Christmas and it has been my most used product. It's pretty full for a skin tint. So it has skincare properties in it. Which anything that is that sort of hybrid will improve your skin over time. But for a skin tint, it's pretty great coverage and it really is long wearing. Haven't used it for a little while because I've been trying some other products out, but yeah, I still love it. It is really reflective though, so if you like something that is a bit more matte, this may not be your jam. But I'm still in a bit of that glowy phase at the moment. Going in with the Revolution IRL Filter Finish Soft Matte Concealer. I'm not sure what shade that is, not even going to try and read it at this point in time. All the products that I'm using will be listed in the description box along with the shades of them. So just tapping that out. As you can see, I don't use a huge amount of concealer under my eyes, and we don't need to. Once we are a certain age, less is more, and if you need to colour correct, even going in lightly with that before doing all of this. So if you are really dark under your eyes, use your colour corrector, but then go in, sorry I've got an itchy face, then go in with your foundation and see if it needs much more, or a thin concealer over the top. That just taps out very nicely. And that's actually, this concealer is probably my most used concealer at this point in time, other than my Runway Room, which is not a drugstore super savvy brand. You can get it in Chemist Direct, but this, for a liquid concealer, I really, really love. Okay, now what I'm going to do is go in with pressed powder. I've given this a second. I've got fluff or something on my face. Given this a second to dry down a little bit. This is the DB Cosmetics Skin Renew Ceramide pressed powder. I mean, she's well used. Their name isn't even on the front anymore. So if you think that you can't set your powder, if your skin is dry, if your skin is more mature, and people tell us all the time that we cannot use setting powders, avoid setting powders. No, you don't have to avoid them. If you want your makeup to stay in place, you absolutely need to set down your makeup. What you do need to do then is coat your face in setting spray. But I'm just going in with a puff. I like to use this just under my eye area and in the T-zone. And I use this, I set down my face at least 5 days a week. During my working life, I will not leave without setting down my face. So I've just gone in to the T-zone with a puff, and now going in with a brush just lightly over the rest. Oh, just hit pan. I get excited when I hit pan. So now that I've set that down powder wise, look, it's not looking cakey or anything, but what I do like to do is really chuck some moisture in there and have it melt into my skin. And this is where the multitasker starts to be highlighted. So I'm going in with the Makeup Revolution IRL All Day Filter Mattifying Setting Spray. It's not mattifying at all. It's got a bit of pearlescent in the bottom as well as ball bearing, so I'll just shake this off camera. Now when I talk about setting down your face, I do this twice. I do it after this stage of setting down my base products, and I also do it at the end before I put my mascara and lips on. You've got to give it a really good soaking to melt everything in. So you can see I'm pretty wet there, and we just fan it down till it's dry. Okay, so now what that does is, that's dried down. It looks like my skin. It doesn't look like I've got any product on my face. It's made it all melt into my skin, and it's just a my skin but better. It doesn't feel like I've got any product on, and it doesn't actually look like I've got product on. So that's a hot little tip. When you're setting your face, use more than you think. Gosh, I can't even tell you the trouble that I've just had. I'm 2 brow pencils down, just trying to find a brow pencil to use today. One I completely broke to the end of the stick. There wasn't a huge amount, but I still had a few wears left in it. And the other, it was empty when I rolled it up. So I've just grabbed, it's the Essence Brow Pencil. It's a sharpening one. And we'll try again with this. It's not the one I wanted to use today, but I'm having trouble with it. But it will do. We'll make it work. I wanted something to give a bit more definition. What I really need to do is tint my brows. I need to desperately tint my brows, because once I've got that, I really only need a couple of, literally just a couple of swipes with a fine tip pencil at the front, and I just line underneath, and that's it. Instead of filling these in, I also desperately need to colour my hair. probably due for a cut as well, and all of those I do myself. Are you interested in seeing me do any of that? Hair colour, you don't need to see that, that's pretty boring. And tint, but if you are interested in seeing me cut my hair, it's been a while. I've been trying to grow it a bit, so I haven't really done a huge amount with it. But it could do with a bit of thinning out and just a bit of a healthy trim. And I'm not a qualified hairdresser, and I freak out. My niece, who's a hairdresser, every time, and I know a few hairdressers, but I have been in Hobart for 10 years and have not found a hairdresser that I've been super happy with, and have just done it myself for the last 2 years. I've had one cut that I hated at a hairdresser's, hated it, so, and came home and recut it myself because it was a terrible job. Oh, sorry, going in with the NYX The Brow Glue. Mine is grotty. So yes, I have been cutting my hair myself for the last couple of years, if you are interested in seeing. I'm not changing away from my MAC primer. Actually, should I? Oh, it's my holy grail. No, I'm going to get a savvy one. Bear with me. Okay, I'm going to use the Milani eyeshadow primer. I don't often use something other than my MAC paint pot. I never use anything other than my MAC paint pot. I don't know how I feel about this, but in the spirit. And I've got a couple of e.l.f. primers as well. See, the slip of this I'm not liking already, but people rave about it. I'm not super keen. This feels really, really silicone-y. There is a lot of slip to it. And I'm not loving it. Now, because of the slip to that, I'm just going in and setting that down with what's left on my powder brush. There was too much slip for that, and that's better already. Let's look at bronzer. So Maybelline City Bronzer. I can't read the shade. I've had this for so long and I've nearly decluttered it a couple of times, but it's survived each time. This is a contour and bronzer because it's a cool tone. It's more cool tone than most that you will find in a pharmacy. So if you don't like the orange ones that are out there, I suggest that you go check out this one because it is quite cool toned. Yeah, that is really nice. I always forget. It's probably one of the picks of a drugstore bronzer for sure. Like I said, it's a contour bronzer, given that it's more cool tone. And it even says bronzer contour. So, look, my nose doesn't need contouring to skinny it down. I don't have a wide nose, but I do have a really misshapen nose, so I try to make it look a little bit straighter. by contouring my nose. Oh, yeah, I really like that. Really like that. I forgot how much I like that. Now if only I can get the broken lid back on. It's a really nice bronzer. Again, I recommend, if you haven't tried it, to go and check it out. I do have a cream and a powder blush, but I'm just going to use the powder blush, I think, today. Let me get a brush out. This is going old school. Oh, this is one of the shades I think I wore on my wedding day. Milani Luminoso. It's a cult product for a reason. It's beautiful. It's very similar to... actually, I think Dolce Pink's more NARS Orgasm shade. Luminoso is beautiful, and I pulled this out because I've got the Luminoso lip gloss to use after as well. I'm really not happy with my brows today, but after trying a few different products, we went with what we could. Highlighter is the Rimmel highlight in Stardust. Shock horror 001. I can actually read that. It is big enough to read. Tapping off just on above the apples of the cheeks there. We don't go too far back because if we've got a lot of lines here, we don't need to highlight our lines, do we, ladies? On the tip of the nose. So we're just trying to create depth and dimension with our face. Now let's get into some eyeshadow. So today I'm using the NYX Ultimate Palette Paradise Shock. So these are one of the more expensive ones you'll find in the drugstore, in the Chemist. Full price are about $46, but I picked this up 50% off. They quite often have 30, 40, 50% off. You'll pay 20 something dollars for it. Okay, going in with this shade here down the bottom. They're just numbered. They don't have shade numbers on them, shade names. But it's the lightest wavy matte in the bottom left corner. Looking straight ahead now. And just as our transition shade. Bringing that up. I'll only show it on one eye. You don't need to see it going on both. Well, we can tell we're in autumn now with it's certainly darker in the morning. Okay, now going into the opposite corner, this is only marginally darker, but it will create a little bit of depth. You can just see that that adds some slight depth to it. Okay, let's go into this terracotta orange pumpkin. I think it's more pumpkin. That'll warm it up. Okay, tucking it right in now. And then a little bit more on the outer corner, which we're going to deepen up even further shortly. Now we've got our choice for darker browns. This is a really deep dark brown. This is slightly, yeah, that's a satin. So we've got a satin and a matte. Oh, that's really nice, but we might start with the darker of the two. So I've just gone into this one. And then we might buff that out a bit with the satin. Oh, no, maybe not. Okay. So, look straight ahead again. I just, as you can see, I need to look, I'm raising my eyebrows then, I should know not to do that. I need to just want to be able to see that, and then back in with that sort of orangey brick shade, just to tickle over the edge there, because I still want to see that. And then this is just a mix of the first lightest shades. So the whole point of putting down the first transition shades is that it allows you to create a seamless blend. Now, so with this, I'm just sort of tilting my brush down, because this is quite a flat brush and it's not my usual fluffy crease brush, which I may very well swap to a clean one in a second. And I'm just swapping to this. It's perfectly clean, there is nothing on there, just right on the edge of that. And I'm going in very gently, holding the brush down the end, going in gently just to tickle that out, to soften that up. I've stuck my finger in this here. I was going to go for this or this, but I've stuck my finger in these two. I think I'm going to go with this on the lid. If you can hear my stomach gurgling, I apologise. I suffer from IBS and I've had fibro and IBS flare-ups this week. It's been fun. I'm being gentle to my stomach. So going in now with this lighter shimmer here that's under the orange brick. Just using my finger. I'll transfer to a bullet brush in a second. And now in with the bullet brush with that same shimmer on it, just to bring up. And tuck in there. So to line my eyes, I normally, you know, I'd be tempted to use a darker end here. This is the DB Cosmetics, what's it called? Bright Eyes. I'm going to lighten up my waterline today and use the lighter shade just to open up my eyes a bit. Didn't feel like going super dark today. And lining underneath my eyes. Look, we might not go super dark today. I think I'm just going to buff under my eyes with that sort of bricky, orangey, bricky. It's pumpkin. It's a pumpkin colour. The shade next to it's more brick. I don't think I'm going to line under my eyes like normal. I might change my mind in a second when I look at it. No, that's what I'm doing today. There's some really great shades in here too. They've got, I think there's 4 palettes in this range, and I could pull them all out in a second, but I mean, they're great little pigmented palettes. I'm just looking at this. I can't help myself. This shade here, it's got a bit of a duochrome to it. See, I just want to tap that across as well, just to give this a little bit more of a, see how that's sort of, I don't know if you can see if that's how much that's changed the sparkle and shimmer, and just lifted it a bit more. It's a great shade. So that's this one that's above the brown on the bottom row. It's, yeah, it's a real shifty shade. Now just going in on that bullet brush with that lightest inner corner highlight. I think we're going to do a real plummy look next. Not sure. I've been playing it a bit safe, other than obviously the Glaminatrix Pretty in Pastels. I don't know if that's out of stock now, which is stunning and I still can't put down. Okay, I'm just going to go and put some mascara on. You don't need to see it. It is the L'Oreal Panorama mascara. This is amazing. It's such a great mascara. It gets right in. I'll show you the wand if you haven't seen it. So it's a tapered wand. It's a plastic bristle, silicone bristle brush. I normally like fibre bristle brushes, so that's the first thing that amazed me. And this allows you to get right into the corners. I really love what this mascara is doing. So let me just do this and I'll come back with my lashes done. So I just realised that I put my mascara on before I set my face for one final time. I am off my game today. I've been off my game the last few days. If you know about fibro, I've got fibro fog. It's really messing with me. So I'm going to let this set down a little bit, and in the meantime we will do our lips. Gosh oh my, cleaning up my lips. They're a bit dry at the moment. So this is the Revolution Satin Kiss, I think it is, lip liner in the shade Heart Race. Again, it'll be listed in there. Can't read it when it's that small. This has got a different direction to the colour that I'd planned, so probably not the right shade to use with this. Again, off my game. I'm going to get something different. Gosh, this is a journey today. So I have got the Revlon Jelly Tint lip colour. This is a dupe for Rare Beauty. Is this going to be... This will work. It's not, because it's a tint. Don't worry about this. At this point we're going to just let that sit for a second to stain my lips. So this is a dupe for the Rare Beauty Jelly Tint. What's theirs? Theirs is it's a lip stain. See, I can't think of the names of anything today. That does feel really nice though. I'm just going to go over the top of that with GB Luminous Lip Gloss in the shade Brown Sugar. Actually, I might wipe that off so that the tint's left. So you can see that's a Your Lips But Better tint now. And just going over that with this gloss. See, that works. That works. We can pull it together. Touching my lashes. My lashes are dry. Going in one last time with the Revolution IRL All Day Setting Spray. If you haven't tried this one, you can get it from their website. Priceline in Australia stock it. This is an underrated product. And again, that just all melts it down into your skin. I'm just going to go and get dressed for work now. I'll be right back. Well, that is it, my friends. I hope you really enjoyed creating this look. These are great little palettes if you haven't tried them out. But there's so many good things at the drugstore, at the Chemist, that you just need to try. These two. Can't rave about these two enough. These two are just my favourites. My favourites. I will finish this in the next couple of months. I don't ever do that. I can't tell you the last time I finished a foundation. Honestly, I can't. And if you haven't tried out this setting spray, you must. You just simply must. And look, while I wasn't particularly keen on trying this eyeshadow primer, it worked. Did it work as good as my MAC? I don't know. I really don't know. I might leave this on my desk just to keep playing with. But I mean, I know what I like. So I can't promise anything. I will keep going back to MAC. That's just how it's going to be. It really blends my eyeshadows so well. The IRL Filter Concealer, she's good. She's good. I reach for that over my high-end brands most of the time. And mascara, look, this is where pharmacies have it all over high-end brands. I do love my Charlotte Tilbury push-up lashes. There's a few other expensive brands that I really like, but I'm a real slut for pharmacy brand mascaras. But pharmacy brands, like, this is something you don't need to spend a huge amount of money on, thank God. So we are at the end, my friends. All the usual stuff. Don't forget to tell your mum, tell your sister, tell your friends to come and hang out down here. If you have liked this video, please give it a big thumbs up and don't be afraid to say hi to me in the comments. I'll see you next time.